On a night in 1155 BCE, someone cut his throat so deep the blade scraped his spine. Then they wrapped the wound in linen, placed an amulet over it, sealed him in a golden sarcophagus, and told Egypt their god had died peacefully. For 3,000 years, history believed the lie. Then a CT scanner told the truth. 7 centimeters, through skin, through muscle, through trachea, into bone. The embalmers tried to hide a slit throat. The machine found it in 60 seconds. Who kills a pharaoh, his wife, Queen Tiye, his son, Prince Pentawere, a handful of servants, a magician, a knife from the kitchen? That was the conspiracy. That was the plan. And for 3,000 years, it worked. Until DNA told the rest of the story.
To understand the murder, you have to understand the man. Ramses III ruled Egypt from 1186 to 1155 BCE, 31 years. He fought the Sea Peoples, invaders from across the water who had already destroyed other empires, the Hittites, the Mycenaeans, the Trojans. Ramses stopped them, twice. He built Medinet Habu, a temple fortress that still stands today. Its walls show him crushing enemies under his chariot. He filled Egypt's grain silos, traded with distant lands, kept the priests wealthy and the army loyal. By every measure, he was a success. But success did not protect him, because Ramses III had a problem named Tiye. Tiye was not his first wife. She was a secondary queen. Her son Pentawere was not the crown prince. The heir was Ramses IV, son of the first queen, the legitimate choice. Tiye wanted more.
The story survived because of a document, the TURIN judicial papyrus, found in a tomb near Luxor in the 1800s. It is a trial record, written by scribes who investigated the conspiracy. The papyrus names 14 conspirators, guards, butlers, cooks, a magician. It describes their punishments in detail. Some were burned alive, some were buried standing up, one was forced to drink his own poison. But the papyrus never says the pharaoh died. That silence started a war between historians that lasted more than a century. One side said no death mentioned means no death happened. The mummy had no visible wounds. The conspiracy failed. The king lived. Case closed. The other side said if the conspiracy failed, why punish anyone at all? Why the harshest executions in Egyptian history for a plot that never succeeded? They also noticed something strange. The conspirators were promised the throne immediately, not after the pharaoh died of old age. Immediately. That only makes sense if they knew the king would be dead within hours. And Ramses IV took the throne within days of the plot being discovered. No regency, no period of the king being ill but alive, just a sudden transition. For decades, neither side could prove anything, because proof required cutting open the mummy, and no one had ever done that, until 2012.
Zahi Hawass and Sahar Salim led the team. Hawass was Egypt's foremost archaeologist. Salim was a radiologist who had scanned hundreds of mummies. They took Ramses III out of his display case at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, carried him to a CT scanner, began to look millimeter by millimeter through 3,000 years of linen and bone. The first thing they found was normal. Resin coated the skin. Amulets lay between the folds of linen. A royal burial. Proper. Respectful. Then they reached the neck. The CT scan showed a deep wound, 7 centimeters wide, about 3 inches. It cut through skin, through muscle, through the windpipe, into the food pipe, and kept going until it hit the cervical vertebrae, the bones of the spine. The bones showed a clean mark. The blade had scraped bone. This was not an accident, not an embalming incision. Embalmers cut the left side of the abdomen to remove organs. They did not cut throats. They especially did not cut throats down to the spine. The embalmers tried to hide it, stuffed the wound with linen, placed an amulet directly over the cut, wrapped the neck tightly so no one would ever see. But the CT scanner saw everything. Ramses III died with his throat cut. The conspiracy succeeded. The cover-up lasted 3,000 years. But one mystery remained.
What happened to Pentawere, the son who betrayed his father? In the same royal cache where Ramses III was found, there was another mummy. The body had been discovered in 1886. No one knew who he was. They called him Unknown Man E. No name, no coffin, wrapped in an untreated sheepskin. That was ritually impure. His organs had not been removed. His body had not been properly dried. He had not been given the 70 days of preparation that kings received. He was buried like garbage, thrown into a tomb with the very people he had tried to destroy. The team took bone samples from Ramses III and from unknown man E. They extracted the DNA, sequenced it, compared the results. Unknown man E shared Ramses III's Y chromosome, the marker that passes from father to son. He shared the same mitochondrial DNA, the marker that passes from mother to all her children. He was a son, first-degree relative, different mother. His age at death, estimated from bone fusion and tooth wear, matched Pentawere, late teens, early 20s. The papyrus says Pentawere was forced to kill himself after the conspiracy failed. No proper burial, no passage into the afterlife, his soul condemned to wander forever. That is exactly what the Egyptians did to the worst kind of traitor, and unknown man E is exactly what that punishment looks like, in bone, in linen, in sheepskin. So here is the truth. Queen Tiye organized the murder. Her servants cut the pharaoh's throat. He died within minutes. Pentawere waited for the crown. But the loyalists struck back. The conspirators were arrested, tried, executed. Pentawere was executed. And the new king, Ramses IV, rewrote history. He told Egypt his father passed into the afterlife peacefully, a god returning to the gods. For 3,000 years, that lie held.
But science still cannot answer everything. The DNA could not identify Queen Tiye. Her mummy has never been found. Maybe she was destroyed. Maybe she was buried without a name in an unmarked grave. Maybe she escaped into the desert and disappeared. The papyrus says she was punished, but it does not say how. Her face, her voice, her final moments, all unknown. And no one knows who held the knife. The CT scan shows the angle of the cut, front to left, slightly downward. That means the killer faced the pharaoh. Ramses III saw their face in the last seconds of his life. But the name was erased. Every document that mentioned the actual killer is gone, burned, buried, lost to time. Could future DNA identify the killer? Unlikely. Servants were not buried in royal caches. Their bones are scattered in the desert, if they exist at all. But sometimes, in the sands of Egypt, things wait. A tomb not yet opened, a name not yet read, a secret not yet told.
This discovery does more than solve a murder. Ramses III was not just a king, he was believed to be a living god. The Egyptians called him the son of Ra, the embodiment of divine order on earth. And yet, his wife challenged him, his son killed him, his own guards turned against him. If a pharaoh could be murdered by his own family, then he was not a god, he was flesh. And if flesh could bleed, Egypt itself could fall. That is why Ramses IV lied, not from cruelty, from necessity. The priests could not admit their god had been killed with a kitchen knife. The army could not follow a murdered king. The people could not trust a dynasty built on a corpse. So they buried the secret in linen and resin, placed an amulet over the wound, wrapped the neck tight, and hoped no one would ever look. The Harem Conspiracy reveals a truth Egypt tried to bury for 3,000 years. The pharaoh was a man who could bleed, a man who could be betrayed, a man who died on a bed in his own palace while the woman he trusted waited outside for news of his death. Ramses IV told the world his father passed peacefully into the afterlife. The mummy told the truth. A cut throat, a hidden wound, a secret preserved in linen for 3,000 years. Today, the dead pharaoh finally speaks. But he is not alone. In museums around the world, other mummies lie in their cases. Other secrets wait beneath the wrappings. Other murders, other lies, other truths that someone did not want you to know. How many more pharaohs died with their throats cut while history called it peace?